You did that. You did that on your podcast with John, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah. I watched it. You did it too.
Go, buddy. We're going. We're live.
We're live.
I didn't hear that.
I don't hear it either. What the fuck?
It's turned down. Sound effects have been turned down. That's gonna punch. All right.
Right in the middle.
Do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we freaking did it again.
Again.
We're back. This is a Riffing Austin podcast. I'm Austin Slaughter.
And I'm Austin number 1.
Yeah, man. As of now, we got a lot of fun stuff we're going to get into. We're going to talk about basketball.
Basketball is my favorite sport.
We're going to talk about a comedy show that I've been a part of. And then, a couple other fun things.
We had an exciting week.
Yeah, we did really good. So first,
got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, little housekeeping first. I gotta humbly throw out a solid apology on behalf of Riffing Austin to our buddy Charles Robert Ryan.
You interviewed him.
Yeah, Chuck Ryan, our NASA friend. It was a very unbelievable. But there was just a recap. There was some people are like, no, there's no way that guy's real. That guy's crazy.
I was one of them.
Yeah, you were.
I was a big skeptic.
And you planted some seeds of doubt in my heart and soul. And so I was like, oh no. And then a couple other people were like, that's unreal.
It was one of those just too good to be true kind of things.
I agree.
As you kept adding more cool shit that he did, it became more and more unbelievable.
Right. Yeah. But then it started getting with more detail. Like there's just some specifics in there that were just really, really fun. Anyway, so one of which was like there was a picture of him in the car when he was 20. Mm-hmm. And then like with his like gear on, I'm like, man, if this is some nonsense, and if he is making this up, if he's not actually working for NASA and a pilot for so many years, then like this con is way more interesting.
He did it when the tree was small.
Yeah,
man.
So like that, if you're out there and you're putting together like a 25, 30-year-old con, that's awesome.
NASA's already taken, by the way.
Yeah, but no, I think it's really rad. We're gonna have another episode with him, or I'll do another cold call episode because he's off traveling. He just uploaded a picture, I think, of flying over, or a picture of a volcano. Yeah, like an aerial photo of some liquid hot magma.
Yeah, he's still doing cool shit.
Yeah, he's after it. Yeah, so that's
apologies.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry that I doubted you.
Yeah, no, we're going to
Charles.
keep following the, the epic saga of Chuck, the NASA man, Ryan. That was pretty cool. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, well, as you know, the NCAA tournament started this week. So I've been getting, I've learned today I've learned that it is an addiction that I have. So my addiction is getting fed this week with the NCAA tournament going on.
How'd you come to the conclusion that it was, in fact, an addiction and inhibiting
you
life?
Pretty much, without mentioning the word basketball, straight up just told me the definition of an addiction, and then you just slapped me at the end and said, think about that with basketball. And then I went, fuck, I'm addicted
right
to not just basketball, sports in general. And I was thinking about this. Even if it's not basketball, I find that I am always going out and looking for any kind of competition, mostly, for the most part, sports. And so it doesn't matter what it is. I'll like it. I like every kind of sport, but it's an addiction. Straight up an addiction. And
yeah.
I've just found that out.
Dude, yeah, whenever I came in and I was like, I could have sworn, like, for the most part, I was like, yeah, no, he loves basketball. And then it was like, oh, no. He does love that. That is true, but it's deeper than that.
Oh, it's deep.
Because it's not, and so my theory that I threw at you was, I really believe that, like, because of are you got some sort of descendant of Viking in you. You're built like a man that should be on the battlefield and crushing skulls and stuff, and then going home and partying because it's.
I don't know if I come across as that on the mic.
No,
I don't know if they view me as like a
we got the video up.
We do have the video up. Shout out to the people watching the video today.
So this will be, we'll have some TikTok stuff. Keep pointing. This will be a good fun TikTok. We're doing a TikTok right now. This is live TikToking, and seeing how the TikTok sausage is made. All right, back to real life.
Shout out to our visual viewers, by the way.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
We appreciate
being
you guys.
visionaries.
Subscribe, like on the YouTube page, please.
Yeah, riffingaustin@gmail. Email us anything you want.
Sending out our first package of stickers and fan mail this week.
Yes, the an Ashley and James Farmer. They're a young.
Shout out to you guys.
A nice little family out in, I believe, they live in Kansas. They found out they're listening. I think we're just so fun.
Hey, good to know we're better than the things going on in Kansas.
Mad love from Oklahoma to Kansas. See if you can find the differences in these pictures.
Big fan of Manhattan, Kansas.
Manhattan, yeah,
good. I do love me some Manhattan, Kansas.
There's some good people.
The Little Apple.
So back to the thing. Whenever I got up and I saw that there was was it just Formula One racing on?
Oh, this morning? Yeah, this morning was the start of the Formula One racing season. And I've been getting into that over the last year from watching F1 Drive to Survive on Netflix.
Right.
And yeah, I'm addicted.
Yeah. So what is it that gets you to where you're at that point where you're like, okay, yeah. I'm listening, but I'm also going to have this going on too. Like where is it? How far into the thing? Or do you just like, no, I'm here?
No, it's really, I only try to get locked in on things that I actually have skin in the game for. So if it's like a team or a certain person that I'm really cheering for, or it's a very big event, let's say last F1 season, like the very last race of the year, like that kind of stuff, when the stuff that gives you goosebumps, when you look up a compilation video online of just like the greatest sports moments, that stuff really gets me going.
Really?
I get a chub every single time.
So, right. And so then that brings back to the, sports. So the question is, do you, because we do know now that this is an addiction, right? Because yeah. So with, what was the basketball thing? You're about to go meet up with a girl, and you were sweating over this game. Was it Baylor?
Yeah. So yesterday, this is we're recording on a Sunday, March something.
The day of the fires. There's a lot of fires that were out by the lake Hefner.
I think it's like the 17th or something like that. But
it's the 20th. It's actually my 15th month of not drinking.
Congrats
today. So.
More about you, please.
Yeah. Well, no, that's about it. That's pretty good. Anyway, so that's my addiction thing that we're talking about overcoming. So it is relevant right now.
I'm
understand.
Just finding out about mine.
Yeah, I know. And it would hurt. I understand how you would be feeling a little bit crotchety.
But yesterday was one of those special moments, especially lately. Is a kid that was playing in the game there for North Carolina. His name's Brady Manick. Shout out to Brady Manick. I know you're still killing it out there, senior season, but he's from Oklahoma, specifically Harrah, Oklahoma.
Harrah, that's out by there's out by Wellston. That's
a little bit.
There's some small town,
but he went to the same elementary school in Edmond that I did,
which was
Cross Timbers.
Cross Timbers.
Yeah, shout out the Timberwolves. Straight up. We I don't know. That's what I used to do. Is I used to cover high school basketball for a website called Prep Hoops.
Okay.
And so I got to know these kids when they were in high school, the ones that are playing right now on the big stage. And so I'm invested in watching them do great stuff. Especially, I know we talk about it all the time. We want to build up the creative scene in Oklahoma. It's not just because we love the creative scene in Oklahoma. It's because we love Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma time.
And so when there's a kid from Oklahoma that is playing, especially on the big stage like the NCAA tournament, I'm balls to the walls.
Yeah, dude.
I am locked and loaded.
Absolutely.
And so at the end of this game yesterday, it was a really close game. Went to overtime. I missed that, but I think it was like a minute left, and I had to go. I had some prior plans that I had to get to, so I wasn't going to be able to finish watching this basketball game. So I was sweating.
You were
watching the end of this game.
You were standing behind the couch, getting ready, like knowing you had to go.
It was like by the seconds.
Yeah,
I was counting the seconds until I needed to leave. She was 20 minutes late, by the way. I could have stayed.
Absolutely,
those seconds.
Absolutely, you could.
But that's okay. I was on time.
Yeah.
The game yesterday. Brady is our guy.
Right.
He got ejected with about 6 to 7 minutes left.
For you non-sports people, that means that he's no longer allowed to play in the game. It does not mean that he got shot out of a jet.
Yeah, he just got ejected.
Yeah.
But he got ejected for maybe elbowing somebody in the face. It was weak, anyways. But
are you saying he's got weak elbows?
Yeah, Brady, you got weak elbows. Bro.
Hera is known for their weak-elbowed people. If you go out there, they have just the sturdiest forearms, but teeny tiny elbows.
He has a nasty flow on top of his head too. He's got some nice hair.
Oh, very good.
Give him that.
Okay, so he was out there just elbowing people.
Yeah, and he got ejected for elbowing a dude in the face. And when he got ejected, his team was up 25 points. Like 6-7 minutes left in the game.
That was one of the Carolinas, correct?
That was North Carolina, and then Baylor came back after he got ejected. And I was just so heartbroken because not only could this have been Brady's last game, but he wasn't even able to make an impact at the end. Like he was on fire too. He had like 26, 28 points or something like that when he got ejected. So he was having a really good game. But yeah, maybe sad, man.
Right.
Maybe sad.
Right. So he was already ejected out of the game.
Yeah, when the comeback started.
And then they just started just hammering on him, and then you had to go do a poop shower. And then
it's the thing I do.
And it's just because you were leaving for the day, and that is good.
Valid.
That is good. Smart thing. But you're like, gosh, this is how we go. And so while you were in there, I was hyping because I
want to clear something up. He said poop shower. It's not. I don't poop in the shower. Okay. It's you. After I poop, I need to shower because I like to be 100% clean. I don't like this like 90%. You never know. I want to be 100%.
Are you saying that your butthole is 10% of your body? I'm not gonna.
I am. I'm a big asshole. All right. I'm a giant asshole. That's exactly what I'm saying.
If you were to section up my body into 10 parts, one of those parts would just be butthole.
That's what it is. And then like Austin's like yelling updates.
Yeah, I'm just screaming at him. I'm like,
he has no idea what's going on.
I just know how to say numbers, and I know I could grab a hold of the feeling of the numbers changing and how you were displeased, and so I was like, oh man, this is gonna happen. And so I was. And then you're not gonna like this, and then I
think that's something weird about you, Austin, that I haven't really met in anybody else, other than maybe a few people. You genuinely don't give any fucks about any sports at all, not at any level at all. You don't know anything really. You may have like base knowledge of some stuff,
yeah,
but you don't care.
No, yeah,
at all.
Exactly that. I try and. The best that you're going to get is me turning on the give a crap for the sake of the show that we're watching.
Yeah, you did it during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, where I'm just going to grab a hold of whatever tribe I got to grab a hold of, and then like, this is my team. We're the good guys and they're the bad guys.
I do that. Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's just kind of how.
I do that on a regular basis.
That's just kind of how it goes, and my thing is like I like to see a good play and I like to see a good hit. Like I like that's fine. Like that's one of those things. Like, oh my gosh, that guy's tasting something metallic. Like the guy is so hard.
See, I see the art in sports as well. Like I think you do too.
No, I get it. I'm just not impressed.
Which is fine. It's not something you've ever really like done. You didn't like play a bunch of sports growing up. Maybe
I did.
Maybe like here and there. You didn't play like a lot of like high school sports stuff.
No, I stopped at high school.
Yeah.
I played. So I played baseball first. starting at like 7 or 8 years old, and then I was a catcher, and then I played baseball up until about 5th grade. And then I started playing football when I was about 9, and then played football up until my freshman year of high school. And like I was a lineman, I was a center, like a snapper, and then I did some long snapping.
You were a big boy, so they put you on the line.
Yeah,
I know what that's like.
You get it. Like I went to the practices, and like the thing is, it's like I don't like my competitive nature is it's different. Like where it's team sports are just weird for me. Because it's like I need to be in charge or I need to be the mascot.
Well, you just and I think you're like the way you view sports is valid. I think they just offer different things. What you are looking to get out of your time, sports will not give you.
No. Sports is for me a complete and total waste of time.
Yeah. 100% for you, and I understand that because you are an extremely creative, driven person, and you have to either be destroying to make,
right, yeah,
or actively making something, or being like a productive.
Yeah, like I would much rather play over watching anything. Like even if I don't know, like I can play football. We're running, we're catching, we're doing the thing, we're communicating. I could do the thing, but like watching the thing, it just seems like I've seen this episode before. The nuances of sports and a lot of like the main thing. It just seems like a little much, and then tying in all the extra I don't know, political nonsense that gets bled into it.
Sounds like The Office.
What?
Sounds like how I view The Office.
Right. Yeah.
But you don't watch The Office all the time.
I try.
Sports is like on all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I did that thing where I made it to where it's on all the time. Like if I was only watching basketball, like I said, the NCAA tournament is done or until next Thursday. So that's like four days without it or 3 days without it or whatever.
Yeah. The main issue though, that like in all of it from anything, it just has to do with how much of your time are you spending producing versus how much are you spending consuming.
That's so true. That's so true, though.
And so really across the board, it doesn't really matter what the thing is. Like if you're in constant consumption mode, like you can't maintain. Like
and they make sure the beings that control this stuff, they make sure that they're going to have it on all the time to where you can just constantly have their channel on, channel on, watching some sport.
Well, it's not by. I mean, it's by design in a way, but also it's because of how well we've built technology. I mean, if the TV is designed to get you to look at it, right? Your screens are designed the best way to get you to look at it. How they write the systems and programmings, the sounds to get you to get your attention on stuff. It's all on purpose. And a lot of people get a lot of joy out of it, but like I just think about like in 5 years, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I mean you're right. I mean you're not wrong. I think what a lot of people get out of it is like I kind of described it as it's a sense of bringing people together that may not have any other commonalities at all. You have people that are deaf, but they love to watch sports. Same thing with people that are blind, like they'll listen like the radio shows and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
And people get a lot of things out of it. Like I said earlier, I guess using like Cowboys fans is a big one. Cowboys have a really big fan base that's like spread out, America's team. You're going to have people from this side of the aisle and this side of the aisle that will never agree on anything. But on Sunday, when that game's going on, they're both cheering for the same team. They're high-fiving each other. They're having a good time. And so I think something that sports does is that's unique that other things don't really do the best job of is bringing large groups of idiots together. Yes, people.
Yeah. No. I understand what you mean, but like, it is.
Why are you calling me an idiot?
No, I'm saying sports fans as a whole.
I'm a sports fan.
Yeah. sports fans as a whole, you included, it's not for, like, there's an intellectual side to everything, but in sports, you have to go find it.
Oh, for sure. And
Right?
it wasn't even like that big of a deal until the last decade and a half.
And we talked about like Moneyball stuff and how like, yeah, that's when I do get fired up when we're talking about like statistic type of things like that. But also all of that stuff kind of rushes over and floods over. And if I'm going to be spending my time with data, I would want it to be something that will birth into helping somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And for where I'm at in the world, and I mean, I don't see how people in the sports industry are really helping people. I can see how they can write a lot of good PR to make it look, and there are a lot of good avenues of people getting out of situations because of sport. But I think it's a little much.
I think some people find, a lot of inspiration out of things. I'll take like Kobe, for example, not like his death or anything, but when he was alive, like as he was playing, you've been in a classroom before, someone's throwing something in the trash can, they're always going to be yelling Kobe when they shoot that thing.
Yeah, now they just kind of giggle when they do it.
No, they still say Kobe.
Yeah, and then they snicker a little.
Some people do. You do, for sure.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, we can find inspiration in a lot of things. It's a representation of tribal war.
It's
right?
an easy thing to understand the inspiration.
It's too easy to take on somebody else's win. That's my problem. My problem is you're like it's the reason why it's a drug is because it's this quick like for me I can the thing is, oh, I just got to drink, and then that whatever that need is has been met for a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. Well, it feels like a reward or a win, but it's not real. Whereas like with some people in their sports understanding, you get so locked into needing to be a part of a win. And so it's kind of like the grown-up version of saying that you're the Green Ranger, you're the Red Ranger, and then it's all over, and it was like cool, but nothing really came out of that for me. Like, it felt good, but in the end of it, it was just kind of me making myself feel good or bad. And,
I think it's more or less I think you would understand it better if I was more productive with my time. Like, there's a lot of sports fans that they'll have the game on and they'll be very invested in being able to like multitask and do a bunch of other things. I'm not one of them at this current point.
Right.
But there are a lot of those people out there.
Yeah, so that's where in the addiction talk comes in. It's when whatever the thing that you like so much turns into something that becomes unmanageable, right? And so in your life it becomes unmanageable, and how that bleeds into life. There's no difference of waking up late because you were wasted, mm-hmm. or waking up late because you stayed up late watching basketball.
Yeah,
highlights.
there is, and yeah, you're teaching me that different, or you're teaching me the same thing. Sorry,
yeah,
but I do want to say, and you have something for us this week of the beautiful side of sports.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, I've been dumping on.
You've
sports
been dumping on sports, but I do
have a good.
So
yeah,
Austin, take the floor.
Oh my God! Yeah. So yeah, definitely. You understand where I think philosophically sports has its hangups and distractions, and where it can go. Now, there are these moments, this is where I get to dial it back, pull it all the way back, and explain why it's incredibly necessary.
Please contradict yourself.
Oh, 100%. This is where I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe sometimes we're just riffing. Maybe I'm just full of crap. So, but all in all, yeah, there's a lot of waste. Okay? Well, there's a lot of waste in things, and I have a problem with that. But here's where it all comes back around. With my job at the Science Museum, every now and again, they'll give us tickets. We'll do like a raffle or a drawing, and then we have tickets that were, I guess, given to us, and then somebody has a suite box at the Paycom Center, and this was one of those circumstances where one of these board members was just giving up their suite to people in this little drawing. Normally, the seats that we get are still good seats, but they're nowhere near the suite action, So I've been trying to get my dad to go to a Thunder game for a while, and it just hasn't been lining up. And then so finally this showed up, and I was like, oh, this one. I'm going to mess with him and be like, you know how you've been, I've been dodging me on these Thunder games, Dad? Well, would you go if it was a sweet, please? Just get...
You had to hit him with the big one.
Yeah, just kind of, and obviously that's all a bunch of, junk because my dad really, really wants to go, And
I think he wants to. He just likes spending time with you.
Absolutely, and I am. So I called him up and like, Dad, let's do this. You get to go to the suite, and he was like, oh man, that sounds awesome. And I heard my mom in the phone in the back, and she was like, oh, is there any way we can get any more? And I was like, oh, crap. Why wasn't I even thinking about my mom? I'm a terrible son. I should have thought about my mom. We're going to see if we can get this a third ticket. So emailed, the people I had to, be like, I know it's probably out, not possible or whatever, but if it could get another one, that'd be really rad. Anyway, it worked out to where I got the third one. So I call my dad back, and my dad's like, hey, so I talked to your mom about it, and she thinks that you should take Granddad. And don't get me wrong, I love my granddad a whole lot, and this wasn't going to be he's just like, he's 83, he's got Parkinson's, he's wonderful, right? And this is going to be a big thing for him, And so like all of a sudden, like this is going to be I've come to find out the last NBA game he went to was an Indiana Pacers home game, about 50 years ago.
Yeah, it'd be like in the early 70s.
Yeah. And so we're driving down. My dad's driving. We're in Granddad's in the back, and he's like, he's very old and feeble. So but he's so funny. So like, and he's so grateful, and he's so happy to be there, and he's just. But when the game's on, he's like dead serious. He is focused on the game, and he'll be in and out sometimes. You know what I mean, in and out.
I mean, he has Parkinson's,
right? And but when the game's on, he is lucid as all get, and then he'll tell I baptized guy who played for the Timberwolves, and like really, like yeah, real tall guy.
Wonder if he's still playing.
No. So
his name was Billy Cunningham.
It was way back in the day. I'll figure that out. But so I get to we get there. And he was like, when did the Pacers game? And Dad was like, how long ago was that? And he was like, oh, a few years ago. And my dad gives me this look like, a few years ago. He goes, how old was your daughter? And he was talking about my mom. And he goes, oh, Sherry had been about 8. And he's just looking out the window. I'm like, and my dad just goes, so 50 years ago. And he's like, yeah. And he was like, Dad looks at me. He's like, this is going to be really cool.
Just a few years.
Yeah. So we get there. We walk and we immediately find a guy in a suit that looks like, he knows how to tell me where to go. And I just show him the thing on the phone. Then he was like, oh, yeah, you're going this way. Got us over to the elevators. We go up to for people out there who've never been to, like, there's a suite section of any sort of things. Oh, boy, there is a different class. There's a different section of the world. Like,
it doesn't feel like you're in the same arena at all.
It's like you get to go, oh, okay. All right, it's like hospital clean, like all these little hospital, and then each one of these little rooms is just the way to go. Oh, and then you get to look at it from above. It is Hunger Games. There's like, I walked out on the outside of our little room here. They had a little kiosk where they had cake, and they were just giving they were selling slices of cake and full from a bakery cake, and it was a multi-layered cake, and I was like, they don't have cake down there.
Oh, you're still paying like $7 for a bottle of water.
Oh, of course, but not me. I was invited. They had, so check this out. We get Granddad in there, and he was just like, "This is real nice." And he's, kind of concerned, and we're also concerned.
He's probably wondering, with it looking like a hospital.
Yeah.
Like, are you putting him in hospice? Like, is this it?
Right? Yeah, you go through this one hospital looking door, and he sees the only thing that would be heaven to him would be a Thunder game through the box seats. Oh my gosh, yeah. So we go in there, we get his seat, and then there's actually a bunch of work people there, and so I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. We get to, I'm going to forget about all that. I forgot that was going to happen because the whole mindset was get granddad to the seat.
Once he was involved in the game,
that was it. That's the new game. I really don't care about sports. I care about showing my granddad something that he's never got to do before he shuffles off into, wherever he's going to be going. And and so my dad actually made that joke where he goes, this might actually be the event that will finally, make him feel free to. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, we're really happy right now.
Starts, like he's got a sense of humor, but it's like, he's whatever, like if that's what it is, that's what it is. Well, so now we're in this box. I'm introducing him to the people that I work with. I'm coming to the realization of how far I've come in my life, where like a year ago, a year and a half ago, there's no way I would more likely have, been homeless, than going about my life. So now I'm in this box seats up here. My granddad's here. He's looking over. He cannot stop thanking me. Like, he cannot stop thanking me. And
he probably kept forgetting that he'd already thanked.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, but he's also very thankful. So we're sitting there, and I like, granddad, this is just it's just repaying you for all the games that we played growing up, because ever since I can remember hanging out with granddad, the fun times we had were tabletop games, like, well, mostly card games. We played Rummy, Uno, and Rook was the main one. Rook is a special niche.
We were a big spoons family.
Nice.
Like spoons.
So I said that to him, and then I was like, it's kind of like one big game of Rook. And he was like, it really means a lot. And I was like, well, I'm honored. And then I guess because then I saw it in his face. He got choked up. I got choked up. Then I had to look over at my dad. My dad's like, what are you doing? It's not his dad.
Why are you crying?
Like, if it was his dad, it would be like, the
generational choke-ups.
He's like, that's my father-in-law. You guys need to calm down.
That's my son and my father-in-law.
So we're, they have some food up there. He likes popcorn, so we got him some popcorn. He's eating the popcorn. And then the halftime, show goes by, and, we get to watch Thunder drop the half-court shot effortlessly. Another guy made the putt from like 30 feet, and we're like, cool. And then we turn around, and the Thunder girls, there's like 3 or 4 Thunder girls in the suite now.
If it wasn't his last life event before this, definitely was when the Thunder girls showed up.
And my dad just goes, no way. And he just goes, he loves pretty girls. He really likes pretty girls. And look over, and he just is so beaming. He's so happy. Like, and he's from Coyle, Oklahoma. Like,
oh wow,
yeah. He's
he's like not Wellston. Wellston's like a city.
Yeah, Coyle. He learned how to ride a horse when he was like 3-4 years old. His dad leased him a piece of property when he was in elementary school so that he could pay his dad back. Like, he worked for his dad on the farm and tried to go to school. He was driving a tractor at like 6 years old. He told me a story one time. I was like, so what? He told me about how he knocked down the pole, the telegraph pole.
Well, we don't have those anymore, but I can. I'm picturing.
He said he was like 6 or 7, maybe 8, and the tractor, he had to make a loop around, and he panicked, and he just hit the pole, and it was like if you got to understand, the telegraph back in the day, that was the internet, that was the phone, that was the communication. So imagine a 7 or 8-year-old kid on a tractor just freaking took out the grid in your small town. And I was like, how do you? He was, oh man, I was really embarrassed about that for a long time.
That was the day that Coyle almost became not a city
anymore.
Yeah,
it was. So anyway, so the Thunder Girls, we get some pictures, and he's beaming. He can't believe it. We get his lanyard with like the ticket thing on him, and he was like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of like your ticket." And he's like, "That's real nice." And so we're still he's having a good time. All of a sudden, we look back, and Rumble, the Oklahoma
It's the mascot for the Thunder.
Mascot. He's this bison. He's a big furry thing. He's in our suite now. He had just done a performance down there, and Granddad was talking about how neat it was, and now he's in there, and we're getting pictures with him. And my granddad is like, oh no, I must have died. Like, and because this freaking buffalo starts grabbing food from the table in there and bringing it back over, like refilling his popcorn. And my granddad's like, I guess this giant monster wants me to fill up this popcorn cup.
Well, the monster, he's tired of being killed and eaten, so he's just going to bring you food instead.
He done learned, but it was so crazy. So then I look over at my dad. My dad's gotten some pictures. We got all these pictures with all this stuff, and Granddad's there. And I mean, we brought him up there in a wheelchair, right? And then we got him switched over into his seat, right? And so there's all this, hullabaloo. And then I lean over, I look at Dad, and Dad was like, I was joking about that whole, like, maybe this will be the thing. And I was like, dude, it could be before we get home, dude. Like, let's leave after the third quarter just to be safe.
Just in case. Don't want to get caught in traffic.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to be a part of this, but that will make my night a lot longer. No, it was absolutely one of the most incredible things to be a part of, to get to have that hand in. And my mom would not shut up about how he would not shut up.
So, who gave you these tickets now?
That was from the Science Museum.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, hey, shout out to the Oklahoma Science Museum.
Science Museum, Oklahoma, formerly known as the Omniplex, formerly known as the Kirkpatrick Science Center.
Well, thank you guys. You made one old man's night for sure.
Yeah, and me as well. I'm an old man and me. That was just a really cool. So that's an example of like sports, man. Like that is cool. Like so that's where the whole flip around is like I have my whole.
I don't even think you're for sure about your opinion on it yet.
Well, here's the thing: it wasn't sports.
That wasn't sports though. Because you didn't talk about the sport the entire time. It was an experience.
Yeah, it was being able to see, to be a part of a circumstance and be able to have one of my granddad's last memories be one of the best things that's ever happened to him.
And a lot of, not just sports. I mean, there's a lot of different events that you can find yourself in those kind of moments. I think sports is just really good at creating those moments constantly.
It really is. Sports, it brings people together. It really does, like you said.
If you want like kind of like the science or whatever math behind the actual game, like he went to a Thunder game at the end of a season where we're sitting out like half of our team. Our team is already, I think we've won 20 games out of like 60. So we're not good.
Yeah, talk about how crap the game was.
The game was probably terrible.
I don't know.
Nobody's going to it, but that's the thing. Like even at a game where you have like a terrible team and maybe another terrible team, it doesn't matter, playing each other, you can still create those kinds of moments. And then when you have like a big game, that's where you have people from all over that are feeling those kind of feelings, maybe seeing something for the first time. Because even I know you said that it's kind of like a repeating thing,
right?
It repeats a lot, but you have fans that are seeing it for the first time all the time.
Yeah, and it's really. And it is a joke inherently of like, no, all sports are stupid.
No, it's just a basis for the argument of that it truly is an addiction. For me.
And that's the thing. And good things, man. It's a good thing that you've taken to the nth degree.
It's not the worst thing to be addicted to,
right? But
every addiction is harmful.
Yeah, to be shackled and then to know that you're incapable of not wasting people's time because of this urge that you just gotta see a thing go into thing and then go like that's when it's like you break it down like inherently it's just all part of the hilarious human condition we're dealing with here.
And if you're not creating something, it's a really good way to like help you get through life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're wanting to create something, which
consumption,
I do,
right?
It's just it can be a hindrance for sure.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like with me and my struggles, I remember being so stuck in the pickle brain of alcoholism and knowing that, like, I know that this is bad. But I can't. Okay, this isn't going to be this. Okay, it won't be that. All right, and then giving yourself all these, and it's like it's just slippery. It's a slippery thing.
And it's going to be. I mean, I don't know. It might even. I'm not going to say it's going to be tougher than trying to recover from alcohol.
Well, yeah, because nobody's going to give you sympathy.
Well, it's one of those things where I'm not going to cut. It's not going to be something that I completely cut out either.
Right,
like,
but you will have to put some parameters.
You have to moderate it.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think, trying to work on, like, taking in sports in moderation, maybe only watching, like, the really big things and not trying to catch every little thing that builds up to the big thing.
Yeah. What's it? FOMO.
Yeah. Well, so it's heavy FOMO. Yeah. I think,
and that's for the elderly out there, the fear of missing out.
I think that may have been created through Twitter, if I'm being honest, where you're constantly getting live updates of everything. And so even if you miss, like, one thing, you never know when that one spectacular play will happen. So you're always wanting to keep your eyes on it.
Yeah.
And you just have to be okay with missing things.
Right, yeah. I mean, you got to take a step back, see how you're programming your life. Like, because you're programming your life whether you're doing it on purpose or not.
Yeah, and my life was programmed around sports for a long time. I was doing sports media for a long time as well as playing, and I mean, my brother still plays. So it's something that I'm not going to get away from. It's just something that you have to moderate for sure. And I think I agree on that now.
Just finding a way of finding your own wins.
That's very true.
That's really all you need to be thinking about is, am I getting my own wins today?
I'm trying to find my own win in this bracket tournament that I have so I can get some money. I'd really like that. I'd really like that.
Can we? Okay, all right. We're gonna walk this back. What is that comparison to? It's like, I'm gonna win.
Oh, it's just gambling addiction.
I'm gonna win this whiskey tasting.
something like that. Yeah. But there's like a reward at the end, so it's like everyone thinks money is good.
Yeah, but how much money?
I think first place probably gets like $1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
I think that you are capable of spending less time and making more money.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. This is just one of those where, like, you spend 10, 15, however long putting a bracket together. That's the only investment. That's pretty much it. Now, we've talked about sports for a while. I really appreciate you talking about sports with me for a while, too.
Absolutely.
We had a few other things we wanted to get to. I know we're running a little shorter on time now.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to talk about what we have coming up. We'll get to that at the end. I also wanted to talk about what you have going on with your TikTok.
Yeah,
you've been.
What's the question?
Oh, dude. Well, I don't think we've given an update on kind of how hard your TikTok's been going lately.
Yeah, so that
I'm not a TikTok person.
That's been an exercise in the lowest overhead, mostest Austin. Mostest my head. You know what I mean? So
what's it called? What do you do? It's like
I'm funny.
No. where you take snippets of other collaborations.
So, there's a little like you can stitch other people's stuff is what it's
there
called.
Is a word
there's a stitch or a duet. So a duet is when you're like side by side. So my thing is like I told myself a long time ago, I don't think I'm going to learn on purpose how to do this correctly. Mm-hmm. My buddy Alex from Pie Supplies. If you check out Pie Supplies, that guy actually is a friend of mine who's fired off on TikTok.
He's dialed in on what he's doing on TikTok.
He and the stuff that he does, he really does put the time and effort into it so well that like I'll have moments where I'll get choked up on some of his videos, and I'm just so proud to call that guy my friend. Because like the most recent one he did was talking about how it was very much like our holes in the boat metaphor, where he talks about he's like, I use the wrong tools because I use tools. I write bad code because I write code. I make mistakes because I make things. You know,
that's heavy.
Yeah, dude, and it was just like so empowering. And yeah, so if you look, Pie Supplies is his name on TikTok. And he got that name because every now and again he'll get a wily thought, and he'll just for fun will buy domain names. And so it'll just one of them was buy supplies.
This is a man that is like almost too smart for his own good and has almost too much money.
We do not. No. It will never be enough. But he'll always be a good steward of it. He's a great guy. So he's so funny and so smart and just such a great friend of mine.
He is awesome, dude. Like, if I could tell, if any of you guys don't do anything that we said this whole time, go check out.
One of his videos that he did on 3D printing was he just thought it would be fun to fill, like he was going to fill this a dice tower, right? It was a dice tower for like tabletop games,
like a D&D dice tower kind of thing.
And he was like wanting to weight it down so that it wouldn't be, so light and stuff. So he was like, maybe if I just put in some nails, like little nails and some glue, it'll weigh it down, it'll dry, and it'll be like a solid thing. And obviously it worked and stuff. It was really, really cool. But like that video that he made freaking blew right up because everybody was like, what are you doing? You're out of your mind, And then everybody told him to use sand, and like it was just like this. It got millions of views, and like it was
one of those things where it's already working, and people are still going to tell you should have done it a different way.
It was rowdy. So, I do not have. Well, okay, I'm done saying I do not have things. So I didn't want to spend the effort.
Yeah, you have things now.
Yeah, I am totally capable. So I just wanted to do really low overhead funny stuff. So I'd just be scrolling through until I see one that like, could I make a quick joke off of that? And it would just be off the top of my head and then, and go. And so the first one was just this monster looking dog that apparently lost like its snout. His name is Newt. And I just did, and it was like this, you don't have to have a nose, to be happy, and they're playing the happy because I'm happy. Yeah,
it's just one of those like like funny camera cuts.
Yeah, and then I did the classic joke that my dad and my grandpa have done, and that's the got your nose bit. When you're like, got your nose, and your thumb is in between your nose, you get it, and then just because it's like I got this dog's nose, and it goes from being like what looks like a monster. Then you're like, oh, okay, it's just a dog. This dog's being a dog. And then it goes to me not taking any of it seriously. And, apparently that is what TikTok needed. Because I've been goofing off on other things. And they
For that day.
Oh, but I made a bunch of other TikToks that never got any hits at all, But
it's weird, man. TikTok's weird. I have not given any time to TikTok.
The 3D printing stuff has really been...
You've been doing a lot of 3D printing stuff lately.
Yeah.
A lot of mistakes. You have some really cool mistake pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else does this, anybody else that 3D prints stuff, but whenever Austin has a print that goes wrong, he decides that he's going to turn, something that may not be as beautiful as he pictured it being and put
failures and trash parts and stuff that didn't work.
Yeah, so he keeps them all and then he turns them into these junk pieces that turn out to be kind of beautiful.
Like fantastic garbage. That's the name of the game. Fantastic garbage. Like, and something that you can say in one breath, and you just see it and you're like, that is some fantastic garbage.
But then you make this really cool shit sometimes.
Yeah, well, these are just things you find, and there's so many awesome, cool 3D prints, and some of them will speak to me a little bit better.
So this one for the people that are watching the
video,
video,
you can get up there and show the video.
He's created a.
There's no way they'll be able to see that.
I'll tell them what it is. Okay. It's a micro SD and an SD card holder. It kind of looks like a grinder.
It kind of does.
And it's just perfect. It's something you never think of.
Yeah, and there's so many really fun things that because these engineers, whenever they get into 3D printing mode, immediately they're like, you know what, I need this right now, and then I need this right now, and then I need this. So like the first buttload of prints that you do are, one, seeing if you get the 3D printer to be able to do what you want it to do, and then two, all of these extra little add-ons that you can now print. They have 3D printers now that start small, and they're designed so that you can 3D print bigger pieces and make your 3D printer grow bigger.
That's pretty cool.
And so you just like, you make it and you keep going. And yeah,
and everything in your house is plastic.
Yeah, probably. In case of fire, oh no,
melts.
Oh, you're done. Yeah, the amount of fumes in the house you're donezo.
That's why we just put it around the light switches.
Yeah, that's it.
He made these really cool light switch covers, and they are really cool. If you want to feel like you got some power, if like you're ejecto-ceto cousin somebody,
yeah, that is
flip up one of these light switches.
So yeah, they're light switch covers that look like you're about to fire off a missile.
Yeah, I mean,
or the ejector seat.
I wouldn't flip them up too hard.
Yeah,
still plastic.
Yeah, those little arms. Well, I mean, hinges as a whole are
the bane of our existence.
Well, no, I'm just in 3D printing. That's where a lot of the extra force shows up on things, and you don't even think about where that's going. And so, if you don't know, it's really easy to break stuff. And then all of a sudden, you're like, "This took 3 hours, and I broke it in under just so fast."
So, I mean, you've been doing some 3D printing for a while now. Is there anything that you'd like if someone is listening right now and that may have just gotten a 3D printer or has been thinking about getting one? Is there something out there that they may need or may need to know going into starting their journey down 3D printing?
Yeah, man. If you're okay, first of all, find yourself a friend that is definitely in the game. All right. So you're gonna need, like, if you don't know, you don't know, right? So I luckily am quite nerd friendly. I am.
Weird people just are gravitated towards you.
Yeah,
you give off this weird,
well,
I don't know, nerd gravitational pull,
nerd whisperer.
And as you roam around, they just come to you.
Yeah, they're. I always have been kind of like let's go look in that volcano. Like let's go look in that hole. And so there's a lot of people with personality quirks that I'm like, oh man, you do not care about society so much. I want to know what you do care about that's in that place. When you meet people that are like super sold out to like the Kardashian stories and whatever is going on in like, that horrible show.
I don't know, less productive thing.
Yeah, just other distractions,
Yeah, that's pretty much what most everything on TV is just differently packaged distraction.
Yeah, they're just trying to get you to look at it, and that's their job. If it was a toaster, everything would need to be toasted. Like, right? It's just it's just how it is. I heard somebody say that one time, and I'm like, that's right. Okay. It's going to do what it's going to do.
That one doesn't, it didn't hit as hard as some of the other quotes you've given me lately.
Well, think about it. If the thing is doing its job to the best of its ability, right? So if instead we're talking about a toaster, if the TV had an attitude, it would think everybody should be looking at me.
It's toasting everything great.
The toaster would be like, no, everything needs to be toasted, right? That's the mindset of the toaster.
Everybody needs to be watching.
Yeah, and so they're going to make that monster, and that's why we need to be not consuming as much as we're producing, because there's already a vein out there for people desperately wanting to consume. So I'd like to be on that side of things and be like,
give people things to consume.
Yeah. But as far as like 3D prints that I'm getting into, I'm actually making the Bobby Fischer replica chess set and checkers and and a checkers set for my sister and brother-in-law. Well, my brother-in-law's dad, his birthday's coming up. It's the same birthday as my dad's birthday. And so they were like, can you do this? And I was like, yeah. And then now I'm in the middle of it. I'm like, this is more complicated. This is not just a print. This is, in fact, a buttload of little prints. So then I got to figure out all that. But on another note that's like separate, my brother is a senior in college right now. He's finishing up his degree in electrical engineering. I have dropped out of college 2 times, okay?
I got you beat on that one.
Well, okay, but my brother just hit me up. He emailed me a file to 3D print something for one of his projects, like, because they needed to get a hold of this thing and what they need. I cannot tell you how gratifying that is to know that I've felt like a dropout, and people, and I have these fake arguments with the rest of the world telling me what I should and shouldn't be, and then I didn't have to go to college to be a part of this college thing.
You're I don't know the best way to describe it. You're that guy now. You're one of that guys. So now when your brother thinks like, I need something 3D printed, he's like, I have a guy for that.
Right.
You're that guy.
Right.
For anybody else that is like, in your inner circle, you're not going to do anything for anybody. But you're that guy for some people.
Dude.
Because of that.
And like, it's just one of those incredibly validating for all the time that I've spent, and then thinking, am I out of my mind for wasting my time on this instead of going and doing those things that everybody said you're going to want to do this or else this is going to... Dude, I can do whatever I want, bro.
Feels good to be wanted for something that you are actively like creating or doing, rather than just being, because I mean, everybody wants to feel like wanted just because of them being themselves. And,
it's a win.
You've always, I mean, everyone's always wanted to be around you and me because, we're good people. We're funny. I mean, you're a lot more funny, but we're both kind of just like a good time to be around.
People want to be around me until they super duper don't.
Yeah, everything in moderation. Everything in moderation.
For real.
So now you have people that want to be around you because of the stuff you're creating.
Right.
And it's a different feeling.
Well, and things we talk about,
that too.
we have great conversations with people, and we're not as distracted about the things that I guess most of our culture has been pushing into our face. We're still able to kind of weed through and cut through the nonsense and still be a place where, we can be creative and fall backwards into cool stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's how a lot of people get to the top. They hyper focus on the one thing they're creating, and they neglect like pretty much every part of the consumption side of things.
Okay, so before we close out, I had a note that I made earlier when it comes back to your basketball stuff.
Okay.
I think I have a theory. You're more than welcome to, not believe it. I think that you are critically, terminally supportive. I think that you are so incredibly supportive to the nth degree that you love to cheer people on.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, yeah.
You love to cheer people on so much and you're so good at it, and it is super validating, that I think that might be part of the desire to get hooked into a sport thing.
You just called me a professional cheerleader.
Absolutely. And you're super good at it, and it does feel good, but it only really works is if you have somebody around to be cheering on.
Oh, that's when it definitely comes out. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
no, but
I guess I cover it as like I present it as a pride thing. Like, I have pride for these people.
Right. Who don't really know you.
Oh, and I don't really know them either.
Right, but if you met them.
Yeah. Then, things would change. Yeah. That's you never want to meet your heroes.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's one of those other things that's so good. You're so good at it. Mm-hmm. You're so supportive that you get to virtually be supportive.
Yeah. You're rocking other people's victories.
Right. So next week you're gonna have a W. We're gonna talk about whatever you're.
I had some W's this week. What are you talking about?
Oh,
bro?
Let's talk about those W's then, man.
I had some W's this week. It feels good to go outside, get yourself outside again. I haven't been outside and really spent time in the sun in forever, and I did that yesterday, and it felt really good. That was a W on my part. Maybe not creating something that was a W, but that was a W for me.
What'd you toil with?
What have I toiled with
this week?
Yeah,
what was the struggle this week that you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this?
Oh, well, I applied for a new job this week. I know. I don't know the button for that. But yeah. That's not the right one. I was gonna try. I was gonna try.
You went with
I was
the
gonna try.
green because
Well, I'm leaving the green.
You're looking for the other green.
But yeah, I applied for a new job this week. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Yeah, trying to start some new chapters. Be able to dedicate more time to this and kind of what we're creating here. Before we send everything off, though, I did want to kind of give you guys something to look forward to that me and Austin number 2 over here are going to be doing next week.
Me.
Next week, we are going to be going to the Home and Garden Show here in downtown Oklahoma City.
The Home and Garden Show brought to you by Homes and Gardens.
Very true. So we're going to be going to that next weekend. We'll do a fun video probably about that. Test out the new lapel mic.
Definitely going to get some footage on that. That's going to be so fun.
Oh, we love talking to older women, dude. It's the best.
Right.
Right up our alley.
And then, also, was it last night or night before the show? Night before that, Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah, so it's Sunday. So on Friday, can you talk a little bit about what you thought about the show? What were you expecting? Because it's the first time you ever got to see me really perform.
All right. So we're going to go a little longer for you guys because this is a special story.
Thank you.
So, as a lot of you guys know, my co-host, Austin number 2, is a comedian. He does stand-up comedy. It's been, I'm not exactly sure how long, but it's been a couple of months since he's done a stand-up performance, at least a couple of months. So he's trying to get his schlong back in the game.
Dude, yeah, I was definitely, didn't put in the work. Didn't really do the thing. And so I had a show. I had plenty of time. I was doing, I think I was featuring, I guess I was second to last ish on the show. It was a hidden talent. It was comics that were also doing music stuff. So
yeah, a lot of comics stepping out of their comfort zone, doing something they may not normally do on stage. And so Austin, second to last, pretty much the main event until something happened. But yeah, pretty much the main event. He gets up here and it's something that he did, and I tried to tell him as what he does, he gives all the energy he has as soon as he steps on stage.
It's a goat. There's giving is definitely the heart of the game.
It's a switch that he turns on. Once it's time for him to go up, it seems like he's chugged 15 Red Bulls. He just hasn't had the heart attack yet. So he's rambling around. It's a 15-minute set here. Spends the first 12 minutes of it giving every ounce of energy he has. So by the time he, is doing his musical performance, the dude is huffing and puffing.
I pulled Paul Little, Big Paul, right?
Shout out to Paul.
Yeah. He's one half of the OKC Blues Brothers.
We'll have them on here pretty soon for you guys.
Absolutely. Look
Very
out for
excited
that.
about that.
Anyway, so I just asked him before the show. We didn't do any rehearsals. I just asked him, hey, I'm going to do a thing where I'm going to probably give away a lot of stuff kind of in a crazy way.
So something that Austin did for the show is he had no plan. He had like 2% of a plan. He brought some things that he could use and could do.
I had a set. I had some jokes prepared. I had 2 or 3 songs ready, and then it was just like, we're going to freaking pull the cord and go.
And you went. Off you went.
And it started out, and I got the first thing I did was I pulled that little grass sheet out.
Who was it? Nex.
Yeah.
Oh, Nex really wanted that from you.
Yeah, I ended up giving it to her. But essentially, I used it as a weird mat for my feet. So just one strange thing that I just out of nowhere. I don't know what's wrong, because literally, you're right. Something just comes on, and we're gonna go 100%. It's all off the top, and then we're gonna
no rhyme or reason for anything,
and we're gonna have a freaking show.
You gave somebody a calculus book.
Yeah, for biology.
As well. I think the funniest thing you gave away, the most random thing you gave away was you had a plank of wood that had I don't even know, like just a plank of wood.
It was a really, really heavy, very dense piece of wood.
This guy just puts 3 like markers on it, and tapes them down. But he tapes them down with a Band-Aid.
A big Band-Aid.
A big Band-Aid. So he gives out a piece of wood that has like 3 markers that are taped down by a Band-Aid. Who the fuck knows what that's going to be used for? But somebody out there has like a half-used Band-Aid. You know, it's clean at least.
It was definitely a new Band-Aid.
Well, I mean, some of the sticky probably fell off.
Yeah, okay.
But so like half-used, clean, maybe some markers, maybe not fresh, maybe they are fresh, and then like a nice piece of wood that you can hit somebody over the head with.
I gave away a professional fencing helmet.
Gave away a welder's mask.
Oh yeah, that welder's
was probably
mask.
Like 45 years old.
Maybe probably older than that.
The people's sweat that was in the styrofoam, they're dead now.
Yeah, that was asbestos foam in there.
Like I said, the calculus book gave away a manual for something.
A Granger order manual. It was
huge. That thing weighed like 20 pounds.
It sounds insane because it was insane, because the whole time I was also yelling at Paul and pretending like this was all a thing, like this is normal, and then like we prepared this.
You're really lucky that Paul will play along.
Paul is a genius when it comes to improv stuff. He just sunk in, and then like when I was screaming at him like he was a moron, like blood-curdling screams anytime he would like slow down a little bit, and he kept doing it. It's Paul! Paul, what are you doing? We're trying to give things away. And it was so out of control. So we have some video of it.
We'll show some pictures, you know, for the video guys.
Maybe we'll put it on YouTube or whatever. I don't know.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. But
yeah,
so it was absolutely just pandemonium, and then Paul and
I think we'll let them.
Yeah,
share
we should definitely talk. Yeah, later.
But
man.
I want to thank all you guys for listening out there. I think this is going to be the episode for today.
Yeah, and next time we'll talk about my up and coming application for Survivor.
That's a story. Also, I need you guys to get on Austin number 2's ass. This is the second week in a row he has yet to challenge me in an Austin competition.
Yeah,
I feel like I own this spot now. I'm going to start buying land and putting down properties.
I'm Austin number 2, and I'm trying to think. Like, there's just so many things. Like we'll do a chess game. We'll play chess. Let's play chess.
All right, we'll play chess.
We'll get that one out of the way. No, it'll be a fun game.
Well, this has been the Riffing Austin podcast.
Holy freaking crap, we did it again.
I want to thank you guys for listening. Shout out to our visual listeners up here on YouTube. Shout out to you guys out there on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you guys are listening to this podcast from. Over and out.
Bye!